I got to lean in.
Hi, can y'all see me?
We can.
Well, hey, you guys, thank you guys for leaning in. I'm Jasmine, of course, as usual, the great, the highest paid, the everything. Okay, sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
Tony was like, "Now wait a minute."
No, hold on. Okay. Hey, Tony, how you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Jasmine? How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking, sexy. Okay, how are you doing, Tess? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I can just do my little hookah today, so I'm just
Oh,
chilling.
shit.
It's Monday. I dropped a few more pounds, baby. I'm good.
Stand
You
up,
dropped
let
some
us see.
pounds. Right, stand up. Let me see your fupa.
What fupa?
I'm
I said I
just
dropped
playing.
pounds.
Right. Well, send me a progress picture after the show.
I got
Right. Okay. Well, today we're going to go over the second episode of the newest season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I think this is 15. I keep forgetting because it's been so many.
yes.
So we're going to just jump right in because I think it was a quick episode, so it shouldn't take too much time. So,
Let's make sure everybody like the video too. Don't forget, we
oh,
gonna say it. Like the
do
video,
it. Do
subscribe to
it.
the channel. We
Do
need to
it.
stay in the algorithm. We're growing, and we're gonna continue to grow if you guys continue to like and share and subscribe. All right, Jazz.
Okay. Like and subscribe. Thanks. No. Okay, so okay, so we are going into the episode. We're still at Sanya's party. It's long ass party, but hey, I guess I guess that's what's going on. The arguments between Kandi and Courtney and Sheree and Kenya are still going on. So let's just say let's start with the Kandi one because that was the most one that was kind of in the beginning. So Kandi, the argument with Kandi and says that she has met she met at Sheree's house. Sanya says that she met her at Sheree's house and that hey, like she thought, she told her that she needed to chill. Like Sanya's coming into the situation like she really just kind of didn't already set her up. But when she talks to Kandi about it, she says that um well, yeah, I met her at the house and she had some things to say. Kandi automatically feels like she was ambushed. I want to reference something, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure my wig is on okay this time because they be talking about people's wigs in the comments. So anyway,
Right. I got something to say
right,
about that later
but
too. Anyway.
before we talk, I just want to make sure I'm good and no one's talking about me talking about people. So um, I definitely want to reference Nene and Cynthia. I think that was the main thing that people was referencing after that comment from Kandi, because it seemed like she didn't really understand when it was happening to her, the reason behind Nene's dissension. I mean, the disdain for the situation. So I thought it was really cute of Kandi to like, she's wanting her friends to have her back. She's wanting you to tell her things. I think it's really cute that she's doing that now. But what do you guys think about it? I know that well, we don't really have, I mean, are we Kandi fans for real? Are you a Kandi fan?
Well,
Then
I don't listen. I don't want to say we ain't fans, but I think people that watch this show, they know by now that we're not in favor of Candy. If I don't. I try not to be biased because I don't. It's not I don't dislike her, but she's never really been my favorite, and that ain't changed in 15 seasons.
Yeah.
And to this argument, I did see people referencing it, and I was just like, okay, like that's very true. But I feel like this season is going to be a very tough season for Candy. And I don't have an issue with that because I mean she is the longest running and the highest paid, and in this moment she wanted a heads up, but I mean, girl, you know what this is. This is Housewives of Atlanta. And sometimes in moments we forget about certain things. She probably didn't even think about the whole event, the whole Buffalo, all of that. But I mean, it was to me, it was the same situation. So Candy, you wanted a heads up. I could see if it was somebody like Mayetta or somebody, but my only issue with this heads up is that it was Sanya. And Sanya is clearly really good, really close with Sheree and Marlo in that camp. So I mean, she should kind of know what the loyalty is. I don't know why she wanted a heads up. Girl, just deal with the headbutt or whatever you was gonna do and just move on. I don't know. That's just me.
I
okay,
agree.
Antonio. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jasmine.
No, I'm saying it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree. I feel like she should, just kind of go ahead and deal with it. I think the situation wasn't that deep. I understand that she felt, blindsided, and she felt like, okay, she wanted a heads up. I do, or up until certain points, and maybe Kandi watching it back now, I do feel like she felt that her and, is it Sanya or Sanya?
Sanya. It's like the way you say Jamaica. It's like Sanya, but it's
Sanya.
Sanya. Yeah.
Her and Sanya were closer than they actually are. She even said on her speak on it, she can kind of see like they took a vacation together. She felt like they were building a genuine relationship. And she said, but she can see that Sanya is definitely
Sanya.
Why you making her sound like she a character of Mortal Kombat?
Right. Sanya, finish him. Sanya.
She do be dressing like some Mortal Kombat character.
Oh,
you can definitely see though that that Sanya has chosen the side of Marlo and Sheree. Again, like Cortez said, Kandi knows the name of the game. I'm just glad it wasn't something just so deep and out of left field. With this, it was just kind of like some he said, she said bullshit. What I felt like Courtney was still being thirsty, but I also felt like this was something that was pretty easy, to deal with compared to some of the other stuff we've seen some of the women be blindsided by. So,
and I will say this too, Jazz, really quickly. So in this moment, when she said she wanted a heads up, then I was like, Now later on, when they talk, then when she find out what was said and blah blah blah, then I feel like okay, I was more behind her and saying like, okay, Sanya probably could have gave her a heads up. We'll talk about that, later on too. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely, agree with you guys. I think he is a good reference. I am an historian. Okay, I'm going to remember it. Okay, so in the end of it all, I do think that Kandi is wanting. She's giving that advice. You're wanting loyalty from people that are not loyal to you, and she's not taking that same advice. So, moving on to the other side of the party, Sheree, Manetta, and Kenya are both talking. They have pulled her to the side to talk about a female that has been said to be dating Martell or, pumping or doing, whatever the case may be. They're pulling her to the side and telling me, and honestly, you guys, this is going to be some weird energy because let me just say, I do think that Sheree, this whole episode has been handling Kenya in this situation really well. Now she is slow as molasses. She is slow as Christmas. She's slow as a snail. She's no, I'm not gonna keep. She's slow. I get it, but I do think her age, her wisdom in this situation, even though Kenya is just about the same age, I do think that she has been handling the conflict in this situation very well, and I wanted to see if you guys agree with that. Cortez, I'm hitting my knees and shit.
Go to Tonio first.
Oh, now I didn't know that the people could choose.
Just let go. Tell you go first.
Antonio.
Go to Tonio first.
Go ahead.
I can somewhat agree with that, Jasmine. I think Sheree is sometimes good in kind of wiggling out of situations that may be a little bit uncomfortable. She's gonna stutter a little bit. She's gonna mispronounce some words and all of that, but she does sometimes a pretty good job of kind of getting it back on track and maybe more so getting the attention off of her or how silly she may end up looking. Not to go too far into the episode, I can agree with you that she did a bit, impress me or sway me a little bit later on in the episode with how she did decide to handle the situation with Kenya. But even just going off this specific scene here, she didn't go in on Kenya or anything like that. It did seem like she really wanted to understand where Kenya was coming from and what the message said, and she wanted to get the facts, even though she lied later on and said she already knew the facts. She wanted to get as many facts as she could from Kenya. So that's my take on it.
Okay, Cortez, are you ready now?
I'm ready now.
Okay.
I want to speak more to this later because I feel like in the later conversation, I agree. Like I kind of, but in this whole thing, I do feel like let's just say you're at an event and your friends are all coming at you about your man. Like how
Boom.
she could have reacted so many different ways. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm very my man. So I don't know if I would have been like that. I think she did handle this pretty well. She tried to, well, let's bring him over here. Well, let's see the messages. She tried to just kind of like give the benefit of the doubt, even though even when she said like, no, y'all are coming to me with all this stuff. Where are the receipts? Okay, we got the text message. We see this message or whatever. But I'm with Sheree up and down. It's like I'm all over the place in this episode because
Right.
right. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying.
at the beginning, I'm with this person. And then, like, as we move through the episode, I'm like, okay, now I'm with this person. So you'll see me kind of go back and forth. But I guess you can call me on the fence this episode because
basically he flip flopping, y'all.
I was just gonna say now you trying
like
to give us a pre. You trying to give us a little pre warning that you about to be flip flopping. Okay, got it.
Because he's being very versatile.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know nothing. I don't switch. You know that song. I don't do the switch.
Oh, it's my song now.
Switch.
Yes, Jazz, you better bounce over there.
My boobs look big, don't they? Y'all can see them today. Y'all can see them today, can't you? They big, y'all. Anyway, they're not that big. But anyway, it's just the thing I had to. It don't work. Anyway, moving forward. They big. Thank you, Antonio. I knew you was gonna agree. But so after everything, they've had their things. Sheree's brought Martell over. He's going to kind of going back and forth. Kandi is still talking about headbutting someone. Be tired of it.
I did not like how they was hyping Kandi up like she was just a big bad wolf, and she just over there like, oh, she was. I'm like, Kandi, girl, it wasn't.
There you go again.
It was not that like serious. I mean, it was, but girl, calm down. Jesus Christ. She had like this her first season on Atlanta. Like, come on, stop.
Yeah. I mean, especially with her being the longest running, I think that she's asked like she feels like she just need that she's like automatic loyalty when you come in. Oh, you've seen me all these years. You know how I am. I'm real. And all that stuff. So I think that Kandi is putting herself in those positions. So. But they all kind of go hang around Kandi and kind of trying to get the scoop on it. Courtney kind of walks by. And I do want to say that Kenya, I do like how it was like a quick moment, but she said to Courtney, she was like, I mean, my friend's upset and I'm kind of trying to figure out why she's in this space. Now, that was just like a quick thing that I saw Kenya say. And I was like, right. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. But Sanya changed clothes. Nobody really noticed. I know I didn't.
I didn't.
Did you notice? Because I didn't.
Even when she said it, I still didn't know.
I said,
it went from WWE backstage to WWE going to the ring to wrestle. I didn't.
Right.
I couldn't
the longest running and most boring. Oh my God.
Well, Sierra said. But yeah, I don't think it's us up here now. I mean, it's the people in the listen.
Sierra, make sure your wig is good before you start talking about
because send me in the chat and Sammy may try to headbutt you. Sammy do be headbutting people in Houston. So I know that for a fact.
Well, they sit down and Kandi slides in like, hey, so did she tell you that he slid her DMs? And she's, makes the point of saying what Sheree did say that she would want to know, which I do remember her saying it in previous seasons. She said she like, yeah, I do want to know, but if you're gonna tell me, come with receipts. Do you want to see the receipts? Okay. Okay. I understand now how to bring the receipts. And I understand that speaking on what Cortez just said, like, we're at a party and you're all ganging up on my date. And when y'all were saying that y'all wanted to meet him, like, okay, then if you're going to do that, then it has to be some receipts behind it. And I do agree with that. Yeah. As soon as that starts happening, they pull out the DMs and Martell starts martelling. Now, if you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, that nigga be rough, and it's not even like a gradual. It's like that. He is a quick-tempered man, and I don't feel like he was in the wrong. I feel like he was like, like feeling the pressure, being overwhelmed and stuff like that. But I do wish, because I do like Martell, that he would not be so abrupt. And I'm not going to say aggressive. I'm going to say just abrupt when he comes to those type of situations with women. He denies sending the messages. Kandi says, okay, pull him up. then, you know, he finally says, okay, I remember. I remember the shit. But to Candy still doesn't believe it, which she has been consistent with that. Cause you know, when they brought up the Mr. Chocolate shit, she said, you can doctor that, you know. So that is consistent, Candy not believing those type of things. But her reasoning to me was a little like it could be either way. Like, yeah, Kenya could not delete the message without accepting the friend request. I mean, was accepting the message, but you still see the message. You know what I'm saying? So if you saw that he messaged you, you saw the message, and I think that Kenya's being a little disingenuous when it comes to the real facts of it, because like we have said in the previous reunion, she was all answering the phone. She was like, "Oh, Martell," she was so happy, you know, and all that. So, but let's talk about that. What do you guys think about that little part about the DMs and the vanishing DMs? Martell saying he didn't do it, then saying he did. Cortez.
It was just a lot of discrepancies in this story. It was 6 months, and it was over 6 months, and it was 2 years. Then it was I didn't send one. Then it was I did send one. That whole DM thing is tricky. If you know Instagram, like you can go to your if you go over like 2 times to the right in your DMs, you'll see stuff that you didn't even know was there, and you have to accept them whether you have a private account or a public page. So I don't really know. I mean, it was. I don't know. I didn't really like. I feel like for somebody like Kandi who was just calming down from being the big bad wolf and having to blow and huff and puff the house down, she should have just stayed out of it. I mean, we didn't really need her to say pull the DMs. Like they were already being messy themselves. Mayetta's on the side. They already had their own conversation with the Kandi and the crew. So it's just a lot of swarming mess, and that's why I say Sheree to me handled it really well in this moment. I wouldn't have been able to do that. It's too many allegations going on. It's there's a woman that he's supposed to be with. Then it's Kenya. Then it's a DM. Then maybe he did. Maybe it's just too much.
Right.
Just too much.
Right.
Headache.
Antonio?
Yeah, I agree. It did. Well, hey, let me say this. I definitely loved how Kenya kind of came to Candy's defense. It kind of made me think that they like legit have a genuine friendship, because that's how I am about my friends. Don't start no. Don't be my friends.
Look at me bouncing them again. I'm sorry.
Can't stop bouncing them to go biddies. But and then with the whole situation I knew that situation with Martell, because like Jasmine said, I knew it was gonna go left, because if you watch Martell on Love and Marriage Huntsville, he does not play the radio. He will read the hell out of his wife. So I knew he was ready to give Kenya, the business. Now, for him to be a heterosexual man, he throws some shade, baby. He can read.
No, hold on now, Antonio.
So, just saying, he throws good shade,
He does.
So I knew that he was gonna let Kenya ass have it. I also knew that she wasn't gonna be able to take it. I definitely hate kind of some of the adjectives that were used for me, in my opinion. I agree with Jasmine. I felt like he went quick, but I don't feel like he was aggressive in that moment. Like that was, to me, was like, okay, girl, you're gonna have to calm down with that shit now. Because people could say the same thing about you, you know. So the DM situation is extremely confusing, because I guess now there were more than one DM. There was more than one DM. There were she's saying she doesn't remember what they even said, because it's been so damn long ago. It was at least 6 months ago, and we knew it was like over 2 years ago or 2 years ago. So it was apparently they're insinuating that he went in and deleted, one of the other DM messages that was possibly, showing him more so of trying to flirt with her a bit more. So that I'm just like, if it ain't there and it ain't no screenshot of it, then that other DM didn't happen. We only got to go by this DM that we see there, which he just thanked her for speaking positively of him or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And he was being shady with that too, because she wasn't speaking positively of him. I don't think, was she in the interview? I don't think so.
No. She wasn't in the interview. I think somebody else, from what she said on Speak On It, someone else had did an interview or were talking about him, and she said in the comments like, oh, well, he seems to be a really good dad, and that's to be commended or something like that. She stated that she said he then responded to her and thanked her for that then, and then he went and thanked her again in her DMs or whatever. And
DMs.
she never responded because she was like, oh well, this ain't, even going there, and I'm not accepting it or blah 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 because you already thanked me publicly, and this isn't going to be us trying to start up a conversation.
I agree with that. Now, my question to you, Antonio, since we do watch the show, do you think that Martell has gone farther with other people than he went with Kenya that night?
Yeah, I think he's gone farther with his wife or ex-wife,
Yeah, Melody.
than he has with, Kenya. He straight up, pretty much told her on the show that the reason why he cheated was because she wasn't sucking his meat. She wasn't pleasing him. He told her that. You know what I'm saying? So he went and then also revealed that while she wasn't sucking his meat, she sucked somebody else's meat. So he goes in. Martell, he goes in. But not only does he let the women have it, he let the men have it too.
Men have it too.
Equal opportunity, let have her. Okay.
Yeah. I do. Okay. I agree with that. That was pretty much, outside of that, there was an argument between Martell and Kenya. She's, after he insinuates that she would have answered, check him, she would have answered. I'm sure she answered all of them. That's the little bit shade he throws. And of course, she immediately thinks that he's insinuating that she's a whore. As if Marlo hasn't called her a whore from the 90s or Portia, whoever called whore before. So not even saying that that's what he was meaning by it. It really just was just unwarranted, the whole thing. So if he wanted to respond back, then I felt like he was, I wouldn't want my man to fight that battle. But if his lips was flying, hey, I can only just tell you to calm down. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say.
The thing we have to remember is that this is about him. Okay, this is
right.
His character, his stuff on the line. And so I just feel like, when a person is questioned in any kind of way, they have the right to respond. And you cannot police how they respond, whether it's a man or woman. He maybe should be doing that to women, but at the rate that they was coming at him about all these things while he at this party, I feel like had this not been brought up, it would have been a peaceful party for him. It's good for TV. He would have been at the party kicking, and they would have been it. But they brought all these things to him. They waited till the party for maybe the purpose of the show or maybe whatever. So whatever they got from him in that moment, to me, was warranted, because just as they surprised and ambushed him, sometimes you gotta fight at that corner. He was fighting at the corner.
Women.
That's how with women. Like, it's unfortunate, but I didn't expect him just to sit there and be like, because if he would have sat there and just been quiet and took it, that would have made him even more guilty looking from certain perspectives.
Right.
So he damn if he do, damn if he don't. And it's Kenya. You could just blow it, Kenya. She's gonna say, "Did you just blow at me?
Blow at me?
You are aggressive. Right. That's a beast, girl." Yeah.
Well, she had already called him aggressive one time when he walked up. She was like, "You scare me," that weird shit. What you gonna say?
She tried to add laughter and playful voice to it, but it's a bit passive aggressive while she tries to maneuver in and no, it's like, no, you already kind of trying me. That laugh ain't gonna stop it. I still see it, and I think he caught it. He threw his little shade at her, and then stop.
And also, I do in something that Sheree said, like where the receipt said, I do agree with that. If you were coming at me and you're saying the person that I'm with or that I'm dating, like, oh, they dating somebody else in Atlanta or wherever it is that the person may live at, okay, cool. Where the pictures, where the DMs, like, show me the text messages, show me all of that. Bring out your motherfucking binder and show me what's going on. You have to do more than just say he dating other people, or you can't just do that without no proof, because it's like it don't really matter,
right? And as my friend, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because you haven't proven anything to me, because we know people can say anything, and just because it's said does not mean that it's true, and that's whether it's coming from my best friend or whomever it is.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I do. I think if you're my friend and you wait until we get on TV to say that he slid in your DMs, we're not friends anymore. And it's not even about him. It's just about, I don't like women that move funny when it comes to men. There's so many men in the world that you don't have to do grimy shit. So I definitely agree with that. At the end of it all, they all go, they done wore themselves out arguing. So they all go home, and Martell said, I'm a king. If she's a queen, I'm a king. You respect me. And I agree with that. Like, I don't even agree with the fact that I don't agree with Martell cussing and stuff, but it's just the fact of, like what Cortez said, stand up for yourself. And although you're a man and she's a woman, I mean, just like Ross, like he said what he had to say about his wife and he went on and that was it. So I just, that scene kind of just was like, oh, like I don't like Kenya per se, but I think that she's better than this. I don't think she needs to be doing all that. So the next scene, hey Drew. Hey, are we happy to see Drew? Okay.
I was excited to see her, just to see, I mean, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, last week, if I didn't know she was on the show, I would have forgot that she was there. Okay. But I was reminded this episode, and I have thoughts about her and her situation. But it was good. It was good to see her.
It was. Well, I definitely, I love Drew. I love her quirkiness and stuff like that. And I guess we owe Ralph an apology because he wasn't totally lying about just not going up there. It might have been Drew's wishes to take the boys and leave the girl with him. So that was good to kind of see that he was not being just a dick about the situation, that that there was a plan in the hand. Side note, the little girl is beautiful. I have never really just looked at her before, or she's gotten bigger, but she's so pretty. She is so pretty, and she's a copy and paste of Drew. Yeah. But she goes into the reason why she was missing from the party, which was her dad is in a nursing home and he is suffering from Alzheimer's disease. And she goes into basically just the emotions of it, and saying it shows a video of him remembering her voice. So this is the lane we don't do sad, so I'm just gonna move past that. Ralph tells Drew about Courtney and being his cousin and then the fight being with her. I do want to say that Drew, was talking about starting her music career again. And I do want to say that the Drew and Ralph's, like, the way they're talking to each other just seems softer. I don't really know how to explain it, but they seem, when they talk about music and things like that, even when they went to the studio, to me, they were a different couple. And I honestly wish that this couple that I see, although we know what the ending is what we would have saw from the beginning. Yeah. So what do you guys think, Antonio?
I'm not the biggest Drew fan. I mean, I like her, but it was really, really good to see Drew. I still think she has kind of one of the best kind of, makeover stories, in the history of the Housewives, because she pulled it together really quickly. So it seems like she kind of has her own little style going on. So I was really, really glad to see Drew and see her, in her element with her children and trying to get back into singing, which she, we know that she has a really, really, really nice voice. So that is good. It was almost like, I don't know. At first when I watched the scene, the interaction between her and Ralph at home and, at the studio, I was like, is this fake? Because I'm like, right, where they are now. So when I'm like, it seemed so genuine, like they were genuinely enjoying each other's presence, even in their confessional together. I was like, oh, this is what the hell we've been wanting to see the whole time. So
I agree. Yeah,
it's just it's sad to know where they are now, but I was really, really happy to see Drew. Definitely.
Cortez?
Same. It makes me sad to see what they, are, what it comes to, but then so people have said for years they feel like Drew is acting. In this sense, I kind of feel like Ralph is acting. I don't feel that a person just turns it over like that, and we don't even see how, because like all last season, we never saw them ever get really to a really good place. Right. And so it's just like, how did he turn that switch on to be such a great, supporting, cool-mannered man? Because I mean, he talks to her crazy too. Right. Since their first season, they have been struggling as a couple. So it was as somebody that's been invested, it's kind of interesting to see, like, how did y'all get from this to this? Yeah. I know things can change, but it just felt like too sudden. It ain't like they took a whole year off from filming. That was just months. maybe even like a month or two from the reunion. So
Really?
how it wasn't they started filming right after they did their reunion. They didn't have much break. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But it was good to see, and it made me sad to see where they get to.
Yeah. Well, I never thought about that
more,
on that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jasmine. I was going to say, apparently more stuff happens between them, I guess, as it, throughout the season, and we kind of see how they end up where they end up starting from now, kind of based on what Kandi and Kenya said on Speak On It from last night.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty sad. Maybe I'm just rooting for her so much that I'm ignoring those signs with Ruff. Like, I'm just happy that he's starting to treat her with like love and softness. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that it's not that, but I can definitely see how you guys got that from there. That scene was pretty short. But again, I'm happy to see Drew. The next scene is Kandi and Sanya meeting up to go out to eat. I actually do like them together when they're alone. They seem to have more of a balanced conversation. Like, I feel like maybe Kandi, and it's not probably, I think it's maybe unbiased, but to me, like, the conversations that they have seem like it's more like equally yoked, like professionally, you know what I'm saying? That she has a lot of respect for her Olympics medals and things like that. So I do kind of like that, that conversation that they were having together. Sanya's saying that she's tired of being stuffed and that
shoebox.
she's tired of being stuffed like some sardines, and her husband is wanting to walk around naked in his own shit. So she's talking about how, her mom is wanting to move to Florida. I say go out there. Jamaicans love Florida. Caribbean people love Florida. Not me though, but most Caribbean people and Jamaicans love Florida. So I get that. Yeah, I think that's weird. Like, because I still think there was some hesitation. She was like, but I said 1 or 2 years and we haven't made it to 2. So I'm like, bitch, stop it. Stop it. Like, I can't take the fact that she's not trying to like live on her own. Like, they've been living together for years, like decades at this point. But Candy's going back into her conversation with Todd and, the tension and stuff like that. Again, like I said last week, I don't want to keep hearing about this, Kandi. So you either gonna pop it open for him and be more present and be more supportive or not. So moving on to the meat of the conversation. So they discuss the party, and Sanya goes into a little bit more depth about the conversation that she had with Courtney, saying that Courtney said that Kandi brought out how do you pronounce this club?
I thought it was Tropical. Did they say Tropical or Tropical?
Tropical. I think it was Tropical, something like that. But anyway, they were saying that, with the, the little quick convo with her and Sheree, she's like, how good that area is, right? So she brought the ghetto people out after she done, made some, stories and stuff, telling people to meet her there. So here goes Sanya again to me, dropping bones, being a bone collector. But I do think maybe she's been a little bit more little cleaner with it this time. But I still think that
that's because it's Candy. That's
well, that is Candy, but she still, I don't like the fact that she reminds me of Eva with not remembering what the fuck she does at the end of it. So she said, what did you say when she called me ghetto and stuff like that? She's like, I said like that's my friend, and bitch, you laughed hard as fuck. You laughed harder than everybody.
I hollered. I laughed so hard.
She leaned over when she laughed.
The face that she made when Kandi asked her, "What did you say?" She was like, "Baby," she didn't know what to say. She was like, "What can I say? What can I say? What can I say?" I said, "Kandi, you hate that girl. That's kind of shit I like."
Yeah, because she knew that she didn't defend her, because clearly, like she was the first one to come down. I know that you had some issues with her. Like, it's all to me, the puzzle pieces are matching together, or coming together when it comes to like Kandi and kind of figure out where this stuff come. She said she defended her. The flashback said that's a lie. Now, Sanya, be fucking for real. Like, I really cannot believe Sanya lied about that, because to me, she would have clicked up a little bit if she would have just said, I kiki, because Kandi loves to laugh when loves to laugh at other friends when she's with Kenya or anybody else. So I don't think that it
No, she do.
So Kandi's not buying it, and even if we didn't see the flashback, I don't think we would have bought it either. I think we would have knew she was lying. So a quick discussion on that, Cortez.
Like I said, I hollered at this scene, the flashback, the face Sanya made, because Sanya was caught Red. I wish she would just say, "Girl," because that's really what she
Cackle.
really looked like she wanted to do. Because she didn't know what to say, and I hate how she tried to say, "Well, she didn't." Because I mean, she didn't call. She did not say Candy is ghetto. But I mean, in the same sense, if you're saying she's bringing out the ghetto, you're saying that her following ghetto, the girl is ghetto. That's what you're saying. So let's just be clear.
Absolutely.
I didn't like this whole talk about ghetto though. I'm like, now listen, y'all, we on Bravo and let's is this what y'all want to talk about? I'm like, now Courtney, I liked you a little bit last week, but now look, ghetto, this what you gotta say? Now this could turn especially on Bravo, this could turn into a whole damn colorism conversation. And I ain't got time. So please, Courtney,
I got time.
Leave the colorisms to Potomac because I ain't got time. Okay, I'm just saying. But yeah, Sanya was lying. She was called, and I like how Kandi, instead of getting mad and saying like what, she just said, "What you say?" That's how you nip in the bud.
Right. I would have said, "Girl, cackle." I laughed hard. My bad, girl. It was quick, you know.
That's what I was hoping she would say, something like that. Kandi, I ain't gonna lie. When she kind of said it, it caught me off guard. I laughed because it was funny. That's what I think Kandi would have received and respected that a lot more than her sitting up there lying to the damn girl. I also think that flashback shows that thirsty Courtney with the nice boots. She came on the show with an agenda from the very beginning. Kandi was the person that to me, in her mind, she had already said, that's who I want to have to go after. It seems like she had conversations with maybe Sheree, possibly Marlo. Kandi was the person that she wanted to go after. And that's what she was doing, because I wish they had showed everything she said about Kandi as opposed to just that one little piece about who said they didn't know me or something like that. But with this, it shows that there was a lot more, that was said. And she definitely called Kandi ghetto. Sanya trying to say, oh, well, no, she was saying like the people, she was saying she was worldwide and the people didn't look worldwide. Your olive oil.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Bumba Seed.
I'm sorry. That's not what that girl was saying. She was saying that everybody from the ghetto was out there, and it was because of Kandi. And it was like, well, damn, how do you know that was Kandi the only person that posted about this restaurant? I did Google the restaurant. I'm gonna definitely try and look into it and go, because I want to see how exclusive it is, because they was acting like you need a motherfucking gold bar to get in that bitch, and that that ain't nowhere in Atlanta. If you can make the reservation, you can get the fuck in. So I agree, she probably would have clicked up some had she did, but she giving me, okay, well, we gave you your 2 seasons. After this, it's time for you and your whole family to go. Ross can stay.
Oh, Candy now. Candy now.
Come back and visit and play around with the guy.
No, he can go too.
He said it's always in Texas.
If he stay, we still got to see that packed ass house. So send them off. They can go
right.
House.
Wow, that was great commentary, you guys. Thank you for that. The next scene, we see Kandi and Ty going to Blaze. Apparently, Blaze hasn't been doing it as well. As it's hey, I'm just hosting, and that's what was on there. That apparently hasn't been doing well. Ty wants to keep doing it. He wants to do a Mexican restaurant. They have not perfected the restaurants they have, so I do not understand that. That's that Leo spirit, and I just don't get it. But I think the biggest part of this scene is and they're changing the menu up, so good for them. But whatever. But the big part of that scene was, of course, Antonio's man walks in with a sling.
Is any man left out there that's not
he loves Candy's cousin now. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Melvin.
Okay, I knew you knew him. But yes, Melvin comes in with a sling. And of course, we know from the news that he got shot, child. And he got shot by an employee. Candy's recollection of the story is that an employee came in under the influence. Him and Melvin got into it. They said, meet me out back, bitch. And he said, I'll shoot you in your pinky toe, hoe, bitch.
hope there's no kids watching right now because they just got
They're
to.
not, because what the hell they doing watching now? I'm sorry, but
Kids are
anyways,
watching.
but I am a cousin host. Sammy already told you that. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what happened, and I'm glad kind of know the story because I mean it was kind of hush hush. Quickly, anything about that to anybody?
For me, I think that Todd, to me, it seems like maybe some of the things that people have said about Todd over the years about him not being successful and being an opportunity, it almost seems like that has kind of gotten to him. The man sitting at that damn bar, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, he looked like Todd, go home and put some of them damn things under your eyes and go to fuck to sleep because he looked so fucking tired and worn out. Like that was crazy to me. But it seems like in his mind, it's like, I gotta keep going. I gotta make these people see how successful I am. And we get it. Y'all done did the damn thing. Y'all done made some money. Focus on OLG. We don't need the Mexican nor the pizza. Clearly, we might not even need Blaze because I don't think nobody is going. Like, I applaud them for the strides that they have tried to make to create that generational wealth for their children because, you know, outside of his children with Kandi, he has Kayla. So, I mean, I get it. It seems like he wants to leave something behind for them. But I also feel like their support for one another or their union may be suffering a little bit because they're both trying to do so many things. And now what Todd is trying to do is adding more stress on the marriage because he feels like Kandi is supporting him. I think they both need to sit down for a minute and just egg some shit off their list so that they won't be running into this. I do like how that damn producer, he pulled the fuck up and was like, girl, what's tea? You know,
gonna talk about it?
We're going to talk about the elephant. Now, he didn't have to use that noun of elephant and then the damn camera pan over to motherfucking Melvin.
No, hold on. He's a big man.
He did not have to do that. And I'm on Twitter and tell him about it. But but I do like that they brought it up because it was so hush-hush and there was not a lot that was said about it. And not that I want Kandi to be in the hot seat or anything like that, but this was a part of their reality and something, you know, that happened. You know, her businesses are a very big deal throughout the franchise. So it was, you know, we want to know what's going on and what happened.
Right. Cortez, you have anything to say?
I had a couple things to say about this. One, I don't understand why, like when Todd said, he was talking about the business, she was like, is this a money thing? I'm like, Kandi, you are the main person that loves to gloat and bloat about goddamn money and how much you got, and you can buy all these things in here. So I just felt like, you know, if it is about money, then let him. He want to make money, let him make money.
Yeah.
I also do think that I saw in the comments, I agree, they need to be focusing on OLG, okay? Because OLG was the first place, and from what I hear, the food still ain't tasty. I don't know. I've been twice actually.
I haven't been in years.
And people go, and nobody's ever said, "Oh my God, I just have to go back to OLG." So I think they need to maybe perfect what they have rather than trying to go from, you know, Southern fried to steakhouse to Mexican. I mean, that's just all over the place.
Pizza and Ace Pizza.
And to pizza? No. I mean, listen, I'm just saying. And then I had a question for everybody here in the chat. Like, do y'all think that it's any different that with Todd trying to, you know, go after all these different restaurants and Kandi accepting just about every opportunity that comes her way?
It's not.
Because she has been on, you know, was it Big Brother? So Little Big Brother. She did the singing show. She doing KFC commercials. She really does whatever she wants. She does. She did the KFC commercial, and so I just feel like if she's getting those, he wants to. I mean, I don't agree with the restaurants, but if that's what he wants to do, she needs to look at it from at least like I'm doing this. Then he like try to make it work. I feel like she's a little selfish because I know whatever Kandi wants to do, she's going to do it. And it should be almost the same for him. Maybe she can take a step back and just do Atlanta, the show, and you know allow him to do more. You know, let Escape go. They already gone. So
right,
just basically, I think she needs to look at it from that standpoint. And I seen someone in the comments last week talking about some Kandi's a mother, and if it was the other way around. No, stop that. It's not about her being a woman or a mother. And no, like I do think she's selfish. I see that. Like if this is the same storyline and your husband and your child, let's not forget, is telling you they want more time, give them more time. Take some. And we ain't saying stop what she like doing everything and just put everything at pause like forever. Like take some time and make the time. That's not too hard to ask for. Otherwise, they're gonna be going downhill. These businesses, they're gonna have so much money, but they're gonna be divorced.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying. I mean, they do have real issues, and their issues, it ain't the threesomes and stuff they have, and it's their own union. There is issues there, and I think they need to fix that. This is me.
I'm sorry. It's just how you slid that. It ain't the threesome they having.
It ain't.
It's
I mean, everybody know that Kandi and Todd invite people in the bedroom. They love talking about that. Okay, so let's talk about you making time for your husband and your child to do his homework after school. I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna throw this thing out there and we can move on because honestly, I do agree with that, but I think that Kandi is not about money right now. I think right now she's about the EGOT. She's about more of the accomplishments. Now I do feel like Todd, I think that he's just a step behind her because of where they started when they got together. Yes, she's uplifted him and added him on projects, but her mindset to me is not monetary as much as it's monetary, but it's not on the level as Todd's is. Now I do agree, agree with you guys about him having that stigma of being broke. And we see next week, we're gonna touch on it with Mama Joyce talking about that shit at BravoCon. We get it. But I do think that Todd, I mean, I understand being kind of poked and stuff, but I just think that they've been there married for like 10 years, that type of insecurity should, be kind of weaning itself off.
I agree. It's not really, it's not a crush. It shouldn't be a crush anymore. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
They think you broke. You know you ain't broke. So kind of, tap into that self-confidence, what you have, self-worth of what you have, and just kind of like, work, do what you got to do. But he's very successful. He was successful before her. He really was. Right. He didn't have as much money, but he was doing just fine, doing better than me.
Right, doing better than me.
So, I mean, yeah.
So, well, the next scene we go to Kenya, we meet a new friend by the name of Aquila. Now, I think that I like Aquila's vibe. Now, I don't know what she's going to be like moving forward, but I liked her like low-key and kind of chill vibe. I thought her daughter was pretty. And well, cute, sorry, pretty cute, whatever. I thought she was cute, a little child or whatever. And Kenya takes Brooklyn to go play tennis with her. Aquila is a football wife. And she's kind of just getting this relationship with Kenya started up. While they're talking about this, it kind of goes back into Sheree and Sanya's scene. So they're talking about her being a grandma, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to really love her son, but anyway, like I was like, oh my god, now she got a baby. Okay, now, but anyway, but she's a grandma now. And of course, Sanya is saying that there was no budget, but we know there was a budget, and she went over it, and she still has those people in her house. So it's a lot of things that's going on with Sanya. No, for real, no, for real. So it kind of starts to we meet Aquila, that's good, but they're gonna do that back and forth thing of both of them telling the same story from different points of views, or telling how they felt about the situation at Sanya's party. Sheree is kind of giving Sanya the information about like Ken calling Martell aggressive, and of course we know last season Kenya called her husband aggressive, which I think, both times was a little bit, whatever, but everybody has their own opinion. Now Kenya's telling Aquila her side, and baby, I cannot stand when somebody tells their side and then, I mean, I know that you have your own side, but I cannot stand that shit. Like, she looked just like Giselle. She looked just like Giselle telling Portia that side of her story, and Portia's like, what? She did that to you? That's how the same thing I felt Aquila was doing to Kenya when she was telling that side of the story. Now, I understand having, like, okay, not, giving all of the details, but I just, Kenya, to me, she's never really given that other side. So it kind of goes back and forth with Sheree, and Kenya, and their points of view of the situation. Now, before I continue on with Kenya, I want to make sure again that my wig is straight. I want to make sure that I can speak about Kenya because I don't need to go to jail in the comments because I'm not I talk back. So anyway, how do you guys feel about that situation, like the different stories, the aggressive comments from Kenya, and Sheree saying that, you know, that she has to start kind of putting that stigma on the black people, you know, the black man and the black woman and things like that. We've, as Cortez has said, we've talked in depth about colorism and those trigger words, those you know, those big, you know, buzzwords and things like that. So I don't necessarily have that thought of Kenya because she is a chocolate woman. I've never really had, you know, like she's like, I don't get that from her, but I also know that she likes to throw that out there to shield her nastiness as well. And that's just makes sure mix. And that's just my opinion about it. So you guys let me know what you guys think about the conversation. Can you calling, you know, people aggressive, the stigma behind it or whatever? Cortez.
I feel, and somebody correct me, because I remember this last year when this happened with Ross and Kenya. Kenya kind of confided into Sheree about the whole aggression thing. And I need somebody to confirm because I can't remember. I should have back and watched it. But was Sheree, I feel like Sheree, whether it was in confessional, she wasn't really going with Kenya's assumption that, I mean, her whole thing about Ross being aggressive. Was she? Because she talked to her about it.
She wasn't.
I think they were on the little boat thingy, and she was talking to her, and I think Sheree was not really buying it. She wasn't. So why I side with Sheree is because at least she's consistent. If she had said last year to Kenya, oh girl, he was definitely aggressive, and then came back this year and said it's the same thing as Ross, I would have been like, Sheree, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she definitely was not 100% with Kenya. So I think people said yes. I felt like Kenya was definitely leaving stuff out the story. She was, you know, Aquila was not at the event. I don't even know if Aquila was even.
She was there.
She was. Oh, she was. Wait, I thought that was the other girl.
No, Aquila.
I thought that was there was another girl that was testing called Janelle.
Yeah, but Aquila was there as well, and I remember because she had that same kind of big.
So they all had to Diana Ross here. Everybody had Diana Ross here.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Huh. I don't remember that.
I remember seeing Janelle. I didn't remember seeing her. But basically, I side with Sheree. I feel like Sheree was consistent from last year, this year. And I do agree that Kenya doesn't stop doing that. I mean, this whole thing didn't have to go to him being aggressive. I mean, just based off him throwing a little shot and a little jab at you and walking off. It ain't like he did this and said, "Oh, Kenya, you tried me," and pushed him. I mean,
like how he been doing.
You know, he can be abrupt, as y'all said, but I mean, in this moment, he was just defending himself. So I agree with Sheree. Completely. And of course, Sanya was going to agree because Sanya dealt with it last year. So of course she's going to be like, yeah, girl, you're right. So yeah.
Yes, girl. Well, I definitely feel like when it comes to like just Sheree agreeing with her and not in that clip, she was like, you don't think that Kenya was saying you don't think that standing up and getting loud is aggressive. So that was a clear indication to me that Sheree didn't. She questioned her in that moment. But
Jasmine, so comment here. Kenya pulling out Kim's chair was aggressive. It was. Yeah,
definitely was. I do, girl. You know, Jasmine. You know, I don't like Kenya like that. I just have to be biased because I'm a host right now. So when I'm on the other side of this,
now she said she put it on for the camera.
Call me rap.
Jesus.
She did. Kenya is aggressive in the sense of when she approaches situations. Like I said earlier, she tries to laugh it off and put this voice on, but she comes in hot, and she knows she does. And when they clap back at her, it's well, hold on, wait a minute. Why you coming to me like
I'm a woman?
I'm a woman. And I feel like even Mayetta even says, did she say that's a girl?
Yeah.
Did she say that earlier?
Yeah. She said, yeah. She said that.
A girl. I was like,
that's a girl. Yeah. She said that when she got up.
Leave. If that's the case, leave that man alone. Leave him alone. Because I just like I said last year when he came, what's his name? When Marlo and Todd had their little moment, I sided with Todd because they were coming in. Listen, leave these men alone. Like lead them out the conversation.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Right.
Or don't get mad when you've said some things and they, you know, defend themselves. I think for me, it was a little bit different as far as Ross and Kenya and Ross and Martell, because in the situation with Ross and Kenya, she wasn't talking, I guess, directly to Ross. You know, she was kind of checking his wife, and he kind of, you know, jumped in to protect his wife. with Martell, she was talking about something, with him.
Yeah.
So defending himself, and she, just like he, raised his voice and cussed, she did the same thing. She walked, up on him and everything. So you got to be very, very mindful of that. I think Aquila's a beautiful girl, but that maybe we'll see her more. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing her at that damn party, because I'm like, it's only been 2 episodes. I know I seen her in the background somewhere else. It had to be a fucking party.
I'm telling you, it was a lot of Diana Ross hair at that party. So
it was. It's a lot of finger waves and French roll.
Yeah, give me some.
Okay. Well, we get to
I would say this. I'm sorry. One more thing. It's crazy that because y'all said Kenya, it was acting like Giselle. One of my really good friends, she watches the show all the time, and she's said even from last season that Kenya reminds her of a Karen. Is what she always says.
The comments agree. Everybody was like, Kim might call her Karen Moore.
Yeah. I mean, she loves to. I mean, I have my last statement for Kenya, and I'm again going to make sure my wig is tight. But I do have my last statement for Kenya at the end of this, and I don't want to. Anyway, we ended the end of the scene. At the end of the episode. So the last scene, there is an in-between scene of Drew and Ralph going to the studio. I thought it was kind of just quick or whatever. I'm glad that she's getting into it, and I thought her voice sounded really great. I'm really excited to see her the next week and see how she performs on Candace's show. So that was just a quick thing about Drew. So the last scene is with Kenya visiting Sheree at her warehouse of wrinkled couture, and Kenya. Oh, I'm sorry, but then she said, "How much does that cost extra to steam that, bitch? Please." I cannot stand Sheree. She is crazy. Bitch, bring your own ass in here.
Not wrinkled couture.
Wrinkled couture, honey. Yes, but so Kenya goes in there and, she's talking about, they kind of just tipping and tapping around the situation. Sheree gets straight to it. She's like, okay, so what's going on? Kenya feels like, Martell cussed her out, and she says she doesn't know him and doesn't want to know him. Sheree asks Kenya why she never said anything. Kenya says that she didn't think about it until she saw them together. Now, even if there was another message, the one from 2020 still should have been discussed. So we don't have the proof of another message outside of that, but that message that we see is 2020. And even if you felt like that, you felt good enough and you remembered quick enough to go to the candy coated dirty walls, but you did not remember when you were sitting on that couch, grabbing the phone and answering Martell calling Sheree. Anywho, Sheree said she already saw the messages and that Martell told her about the DM. Antonio already clocked that in the beginning of this episode. That she just kind of, but again, I think that's Sheree handling it. I think that is Sheree.
No, I think Sheree lying.
I think she's lying, but I think that's her way of just handling. Like, girl, I knew about it, so what else is going on? So
Sheree can save some face. She has a lot of failures that she's encountered, so she knows how to. Oh, like when they went to her house, she was like, "Was it a sign outside the house?
No trespassing sign."
No trespassing. No, girl, it was grass and dirt. That's what it was. So she knows how to do that. I will say that. But when she said that, I was like, this help her learn.
Liar. Pants on wrinkled fire. So Kenya says that her main issue was the fact that she felt like Martell was insinuating that she was a hoe, saying that she answered all her DMs. But this is what really made me cringe about the whole scene. That's that banter between them is just what they do. But the most cringy thing about me was as an abused woman, not me, but as Kenya, because I knocked that back out. But as an abused woman, I don't think Kenya was right by bringing up Bob and the physical abuse to Sheree. She's done it. She's been saying it multiple times and keeps saying you don't see the flags. Kenya is the same person when it comes to men. We're talking about Robert. We're talking about the big digger that broke the garage door. We're talking about Mark. I just don't think that she has any Walter, Mark, and what was the big one that beat up that got to fight with Peter? Matt. So it's okay. I'm not one of those friends that go through my own things and go down hard on a friend for not seeing their worth. I understand it. I'm a woman, not even just anybody. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But I thought that Kenya bringing up the abuse from Bob and then they go into flashback. I thought that was a low blow. I thought it was cringy. And again, let me fix my wig. My last statement about Kenya is, does Kenya use domestic violence as a shield for her unnecessarily aggressive confrontational behavior towards men? I got my degrees, child. But anyway, what do you guys think about that scene? To me, it was just, I don't believe in, keep whipping somebody with their past. Bob is the past. I don't think it's right. And that's just my opinion about it. So I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Cortez. Well, no, Antonio.
I agree with that, Jasmine. She has kind of brought up the whole, because Sheree was allegedly abused by Bob and stuff like that, to kind of justify her thinking. And it's like, just because Martell said a cuss word at you or for trying to call him out or whatever does not mean that he about to be violent against Sheree. That was kind of, I get it, you want to be protective of your friend and stuff like that, but you got to have a little bit more tact with doing it, as opposed to just going to that extreme, especially since this person has not necessarily shown you any violent behavior. Him cuss word or telling a lie does not mean that he is he's gonna physically abuse her. I did think that it was funny, Sheree, at this She by Sheree warehouse. No, that was not a She by Sheree warehouse. It looked like she had rented out 3 motherfucking rolling racks with some boxes on it, similar to what Robin did with them damn hats in Potomac when she was acting like she was doing all these hat orders. And, Sheree asking, oh, do you know why they wrinkled? Girl, it's a sweatshirt with a motherfucking applique that's been ironed on the front of it. They not gonna iron the whole thing. That was just odd to me. Supposedly she had 273 orders, I guess, of sweatshirts and yoga mats, because that's all that they had on the table.
Jesus, give it to him.
But I do also think, with Sheree and that whole, she definitely did not. She didn't know anything, because at that time, hell, Martell was even saying he never sent a DM to Kenya. That's what he initially says. You mean to tell me he said he didn't send it, but you saying you already seen it? I just think that it's been months. They kind of knew how the episodes or how those scenes went. That was her way of kind of pulling her story together. As Cortez says, she will try to dig herself out of a hole, no matter how deep it is or how silly she may end up looking.
Yeah. Cortez?
Honestly, what I saw in this scene, I was completely 100% with Sheree on it, 100% with her, 105%. I think she really wanted Kenya to take some kind of accountability. Clearly, she don't know Kenya, because she's not going to do that. Kenya has never really done that.
Never.
Whether you like her or dislike her, maybe you can agree, but she does not take accountability for what she has done ever. It's always what happened to her. And I saw her trying her best to use Bob and use, what she saw about Martell in the past, how she don't know him, she don't want to get to know him. But then you was all holding the phone up at the reunion, like nothing in this moment was making sense. She was just trying to fight her way out of giving it. She never owned up to it. She never gave it any accountability ever, but she was trying to turn it all on Martell and kept kind of pointing back to him being aggressive and abusive. All these words she used, all these damn targeted ass words. I just felt like, Kenya, just say, you know what, girl, I didn't have to do it this way. And maybe Sheree would have, but at this point, I think Sheree is standing so firm in what she feels and what actually happened, to where, she said, yeah, this is not my man. And I don't think she's stigmatized at all. I think it's just a matter. I really feel, regardless of how slow she is and how wrinkled her clothes is, I do think Sheree would have checked Martell if it got to that point.
Yes.
But I think she truly feels like she was blindsided with it all, and so was he. So why would she side with anybody on that side of the room?
Yeah.
To be honest, whether this is her man or not, they trying to make it seem like, oh, she digmatized. She does choose bad men. Yes, she does. But in this moment, this ain't gonna do with her and the man that she's talking to. This is her sticking to what actually happened and what's right. And what, you know what I'm saying? I think she was 100% right. And I ain't never really ever really been Team Sheree and proud of her, but I was very happy for her that she stood in there now, you know, like I said, Kenya, and talking about how he gonna do her the same way.
Right.
He may
That was
do her
so
away, but he ain't gonna stop trying to put off what your men have done to you onto your friends. Kenya is that friend that you may not want to talk to about your relationship because she gonna be like, "Girl, leave him." Meanwhile, she looking for a man so damn bad. She gonna take anything because when
bitch.
she in the situation, we saw how Ken reacted in season 12, 11, whatever it was. She was no different than Sheree and any other woman that man that sits in a relationship when they know things ain't right.
Right.
So stop it. Live by what you're speaking, Kenya.
Right.
That's what she needs to
late.
live in that versus giving all these unsolicited like opinions and thoughts on people's relationships. Just live the same life that you are trying to preach. She preached it to Drew last year about Ralph. She's doing it with Sheree. Okay, then go put that same energy honestly
into Mark.
Like
into Mark.
But she could see all that with their relationships, but she couldn't see that from Mark from the very beginning. Like you know,
that's why she did this shit in private. That's why she did that shit in private, because she likes to tell everybody else what they need to do with their man, but she don't like nobody else's opinion on her own man. And the way that she always, like I just read that, like, oh, I'm so tired of the Kenya versus everybody's man thing. She continues to do that shit. 10 years. She did it to Tanya. She's done it to Sheree. She's done it to Drew. She's done it with a lot of people on the show.
Remember she got into a Peter at the at the sunglass event, right?
Sunglass. Oh yeah, she did. She did.
The sunglass event, yeah.
Yeah, she's done that. Yeah. So I just feel like, you know, we have this with our viewers and stuff like that. You know, we have the people that are, you know, diehard Ken fans, and I love it, because I don't, nobody waver me about Candice, and then nobody wavers me about my people, but I do still hold her accountable. Yeah. And no matter how hard it, you know, hurts my heart to do it, I still hold her accountable. But I just feel like, you know, I just like, girl, whatever. But you know, I talk to her in private. No, I don't talk. So I'm just saying, but like, I'm just like, you know, I think that Kenya is at a point, because she is 50 plus, and this is just the facts. My wig is on straight. Thank you. She is 50 plus, and she definitely has her insecurities about men. And I just wish that, you know, that she would like have that accountability and own that. Because even when she was talking to Aquila, she was like, I'm envious of your husband and your relationship and stuff like that. And I mean, it's sad. And because Kenya, you know, is not an ugly woman. Honestly, she's can be fun and stuff like that. And, you know, I think that she has a good mind, when it comes to like how to treat her man and stuff. But I just still don't think, I think when it comes, you know, to your friends, you have to know them well enough to know how to approach them. Like my best friend since I was 14 years old, she, bitch, leave that nigga. Done. Like she's harsh, you know what I'm saying? Because she's known me like that. But, you know, my frat brother and stuff like that, he be like, now, you know, like I've had that happen, you know, like I've been with my boyfriend, they like tap me on my shoulder and they're like, can we talk to you? We don't like how you are with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I didn't like show out. I was like, okay, talk to me later about the shit, bitch. So at the end of the day, I just think that Kenya just needs to have some therapy, some dick, and that's about it. So that's the end of the episode.
I'm just laughing because we're going in on Kenya, and then Kenya's number one fan.
He popped right in.
Ronnie comes right into my son. Kenya was an icon. At this point, Ronnie is a vibe.
No, I'm sure she's a vibe when she has consistent dingling. I'm sure she's a vibe when she has a man.
She be a vibe. She goes up and down, but in this episode, she was not a vibe. I mean, that's just my opinion. This is my square. You know, it's my thoughts. But let's go ahead and get our caller on. We got a call in the queue. You know, make sure y'all like this video and subscribe. You know, I ain't gonna say we love Kenya, we really don't. But Kenya's a cool person, okay? But just because we don't like Kenya does not mean you gotta stop watching this channel, because we give her praise sometimes when she do good things. But in this episode, no ma'am. No ma'am.
Her arms look nice.
Over here, baby.
Oh no, she looked really good. The blow up booty was still blowing up, but she looked really good. And that
when they give it be fucked up when they get that side view though. I'm like, damn.
I know I hate when they get this side view of her booty, but she looked really good. Like she's still a beautiful woman. And with that being said, I'll let our caller on, and it's going to be Sean S. What's going on, Sean? How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Hey, Sean, you was live, wasn't it?
You came up in this thing ready. What you got for us?
I think Kenya and Sheree are the same people. They see commonalities in each other, but Sheree don't recognize red flags. You keep picking both of them picked the wrong men, but you just waited for a man in jail for I don't know how long, and it didn't work out. Then you go get with Martell, and then you just ignore the fact that he basically just holler at women and do sneaky underhanded things. She must ain't never seen the show, or because why would you want to involve yourself, even though I think this is a PR stunt to get more viewers from Bravo to Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think this is the whole setup for the both of them. They in cahoots. So
I'm gonna say this
they
right
both
now.
basically the same person.
I mean, I was just saying, I would still, even watching the show, I would probably still bend over for Martell just a little bit. I probably would.
I mean, that is a very attractive man. That's what you got to just do it and get on with your life. Don't have any expectations.
Right.
Don't expect no call afterwards, no follow up. Just do it and be like, "Ooh, I got it," and move on with your life.
And also, no matter how bad people try to make you out to be, when they throw out that you got some good sex, no matter the people still gonna come, and they still, and that's where Sheree is there now. She's coming, absolutely.
Yeah.
But but they both are the same type of person. They keep picking the wrong men, and they too old for that. You should live and learn.
That's true.
It's just terrible. And I think something is up with Ralph. Ralph is all in Drew's business. Everything her finger touches, he is in on it, but he never tells Drew what he's doing. She found out about the book way after, and then he wouldn't even show her what was in the book, and it was about her son. So I think maybe he got caught up in something, and that's why they got divorced. The blinders came off after the music.
Okay. We're gonna see. It's a lot of it was beautiful to see them, but I just feel like something is just not authentic in there. If I ain't never felt it before between them two, it just seems really But I'm gonna save my thoughts as we get through the season. It's just episode 2. So you got anything else?
Oh, and Mark, if Sheree, if they knew about the DMs ahead of time, why did she even call Martell over? You didn't need to call him over. All you had to say was, "We're dating. He has his life. I have my life." And she could have shut it down right then and there.
Yeah, they are filming a TV show. It makes it better for TV to be like, call him over here. To be honest, I mean, it's all.
And he was ready for his scene. He was ready to get his shine on.
Hello.
They should let him alone. All right, Sean. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Hey, Sean.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Jasmine, please, Jasmine.
Jasmine is going. The other Jasmine in the chat. There's a call in the chat, and I don't want to let them in because I feel like it's a troll. But I'm gonna because we are equal opportunists here.
Oh, barely.
Because the name is already a fool. But
okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
It's Sammy, Team Candy, Team Kenya, Team not TKC.
He said
not Team Candy.
Yeah,
not TKC.
You look like TKC with the damn lights off.
I'm laying in the bed, child. First, let me say to Amy, I think it's Amy Howard. I don't know what I did, child. I was laying in the bed listening to y'all, and I put her in timeout, deleted her messages. I don't know what happened. So I'm sorry, Amy. I just want to say that.
Not you. Well, Amy's in the chat now. I like Amy's commentary.
That's what she was asking. Oh,
okay. Amy, apparently it was an accident.
It was an accident.
Amy's not tech savvy. Okay. All right.
Take his wrench away.
I'm taking it away. Go ahead, Sammy.
Taylor Gray said Don Juan is
muted.
with you.
Are you having low budget issues? Oh no, not one of our own. Well,
I was getting a call. So first, I want to say when the party situation, I was with Sheree. I was with Sheree because Kenya could have told her that about the DM way before. I don't want to hear about that. Y'all weren't official. None of this, none of that. You knew it was heading to that direction. It was a possibility. She should have told her that then. There was no point to bring it up now. In regards to her with the making the black man the aggressive comments, I get what she's saying, but y'all were picking with Martell. So I mean, I wouldn't give a damn if y'all come bothering me. I'm probably gonna be what you say aggressive. They should have left that man alone. But I will say it doesn't look good for him because he was defensive because he was lying. So that's probably why she figured she took aggressive because he.
another phone call.
So now
They've been
he's
trying to call you,
so
saying I hope
now
everything
right.
all
So
right.
now
Sammy
he's
is a whole host over here, and he don't know how to put.
Child, no,
Is that
so
your
now
door
he a
dasher trying to
celebrity
tell you
getting
Is
calls
that
back to back.
Martell calling you?
no, he keeps calling me because trying to tell me something. Anyways, anyways, disappointing to me this episode because if you think about it, how everybody says that Todd doesn't work like her, he doesn't bring in the money like her. At this point, it seems like he's not being afforded the same opportunities as her because she want to do all the damn work. She trying to make him stay there and be a damn house husband. So she's coming out very it's seemingly selfish. Like he can't make any type of money. If y'all can remember, she said on her Shannon Sharp interview that Todd basically quit working doing the Real Housewives stuff when they got together. So the two of them decided to just do ventures together and make money together. So now it seems like it's more so just about what she wants to do. So she's not even giving him a chance to work and do all his kind of stuff. Now I don't know about this extra restaurant shit, especially a Mexican restaurant. Like just get the regular OLG figured out and then do OLG or whatever you want to call it. And if Bravo wants to know what happened down at the damn restaurant, y'all should have kept Kandi and the gang. You probably could have got the shooting on film.
Oh,
So that's
No,
y'all
I do
fault.
agree with that. Now I
Yeah,
don't agree with you
that's
about
y'all
that Kim
fault.
thing.
Kevin,
Yeah,
you
right. You right.
they probably could have got the shoot on film. But Kandi, she does need to step back and really focus in more on her marriage because if anything, I can see that leading to them being separated because Todd's not able to really be himself because he has to kind of be in her shadow, and it doesn't make it any better that he gets picked on about it.
So Sammy, wait, you team Kandi and Kenya, but you came in going against both of them.
Well,
Good.
I'm
As
team
you should.
honesty.
Hold him accountable, friend.
So are you team
Sammy
Kenya?
came in saying them hoes down just to build
He's
them up.
holding
I
her.
don't know.
He's
No,
holding
I'm
them
just playing.
accountable.
This is when you have a fave and you can still be real.
Yeah,
Go
like
ahead.
I
Learn from
didn't
the
care for it.
lunchbox. Over here.
I will say, oh, and that's something that's what I really called in for because the whole with Kandi saying that she wanted a heads up. I completely agree with that. I don't think that's nowhere
Oh
near
man,
the
we're back
same.
at it.
Yeah, that's nowhere near the same with the Nene thing. You can't compare. Cut it off, baby. You can't compare. You can't compare those two things. This is somebody that we're actually friends and we're building a friendship with. This lady that you just met a couple of days ago was talking about me, and I'm coming to your party, and you don't want to tell me that's going to happen. And then knowing that you with these other two girls who don't really care for me, and y'all over there kikiing and shit like
She was
Sanya
friends with Nene at that time.
right, and she was also friends with Kenya too. And it was a
Mm-hmm.
difference from her not wanting Kenya to come because she don't want Kenya on camera versus this girl who just talking about me for whatever the hell type of reason. It was just goofy to me. But I will say with Sheree, Sheree's dumb because in this Sheree's just stupid.
Not
And
smart.
I really want for her to be an OG and her to be claiming that. I really want Bravo to keep her away from us if she is not going to be smart. Keep her pretty yet silly ass off of our cameras unless y'all going to carry her down the yellow brick road to get her a fucking brain. Because I'm sick of Sheree coming on here every year acting so damn dumb behind these men. She had the man just stop. And now we see Martell and Hammer looking stupid too. I want Sheree to just go away if she's not going to be an OG. Because Nene would never carry like this.
I agree, Sammy. And they stories ain't matching. From what I done watched on Huntsville, they were
See, I
kind
haven't
of
watched
filming
Huntsville yet.
at the same time as well. Like they were filming Huntsville around the same time that Atlanta was being filmed. He kind of seeing something a little different, but
he's an opportunist.
Okay.
But
right,
yes,
so we gotta get out of here, okay?
All right, bye.
Okay, you can call in. I
talking
see
to
that
you.
last call, the caller that called in, baby. You is too late. We gotta get out of here. So next time you need to call in sooner.
Sooner.
All right, Jazz, take us up on out of here.
Well, I want to thank you guys for leaning in with us. It has been a blast. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I hope you enjoyed my wig, and I hope you enjoyed the Kenya slander and the wrinkled couture. But anyway, I want to thank you guys, and we're gonna lean out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night.
Good night, y'all. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Peace.